It's the state's understanding we have a mostly agreed temporary order for the court to approve. Testimony will show that the parties actually had a temporary order out of Brasoria County back in 2012. That case was actually dismissed in 2015, but payments from Mr. Kenard to Ms. Shorter did not stop until April of 2022. This is the issue of retroactive support going back to May of 2019 will be an issue for final hearing. And part of that, Your Honor, is the need for discovery of documentation of all payments so that appropriate credit is given. Additionally, this order is going to ask that the court make a ruling with regard to conservatorship or defer it to final, finding that the child currently lives with the mother, Ms. Shorter, that Mr. Kenard should have the standard possession order for over 100 miles distance between the parties. Parties would exchange the child at a halfway point. According to the maps, it's between Caldwell and Somerville, Texas. Parties would like to communicate by phone. It's what they have been doing. And that they only communicate in writing, so text messages unless it's an emergency. Parties would each like their contact information to not be included in the court's order. While each may know each other's address, but at this moment, they prefer not to update each other in the future. And part of that, Your Honor, the testimony will show that Mr. Kenard does have a criminal conviction for family violence. Ms. Shorter was the victim, and that was back in 2012. And we would like to provide additional information to the court for the permanent or final conservatorship designation. We just need the time to do so. And then Mr. Kenard would maintain health, dental, and vision for the child, health and dental taking it into account for the child support. Current child support beginning September 1st would be $1,610 based on Mr. Kenard's one source of income and him having one other minor child in his household. And then, Your Honor, we are asking that the final hearing occur in October. We believe it'll be a 2-hour special setting if you have it available.
Okay. And is anyone requesting an ad litem at this point?
You're muted, Victoria. Our side was not requesting an ad litem. I'm not sure if Ms. Bonget had spoken with Ms. Shorter or not.
Okay. All right. Well, at the end of it, I'll make up my mind on that at the end of the hearing. If everything's pretty copacetic, then I won't worry about it. But if I find something that's a little out of the ordinary, and this one is already out of the ordinary because I've never had a case where there was an old order that got DWAP that still was being used or being done for an extra 6 years? Yeah. Every docket there's always something that's brand new, and believe me, guys, that is brand new. So anyway. I'll go ahead and let you make your opening at this time, Ms. Chopper. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. I represent respondent father, Prindle Kenard, and we are requesting a standard possession order. We would like joint managing conservatorship since the domestic violence issue was 10 years ago. There have been no other issues between the parties. And so we're prepared to save that for a final hearing if that's what the court deems necessary, as it has been about a year since Mr. Kenard has been able to see his daughter. And they talk most days, they text a lot of days, so they have a great relationship. There is that continuing communication. We're just coming into the court to go ahead and get an SPO for over 100 miles. And I looked up the halfway points, just a suggestion. Y'all are free to make any other suggestions, but Brookshire Brothers in Somerville, Texas, it's a grocery store, is one of the halfway points that I found that may be the best for the parties, since we want to make sure that everyone's safe. It's a very public setting. We are requesting all rights be joint and guideline support. My client is okay with guideline support, and he does maintain medical and dental and has throughout the child's life. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. And so again, I lived in Houston for 4 years going to law school down there. So yeah, I know where Somerville is and I know where the halfway point, well, halfway point is from Temple, Texas anyway. So yeah. All right, let's go ahead and get some testimonies from the parties and we'll see about how we're going to handle this. And I'll start looking at some dates in October that we can have a final hearing on this one. Thank you. All right, so at this time, I'm going to ask Ms. Shorter and Mr. Kenard. I'm sorry, I want to make sure I'm not mispronouncing that. They both turn the videos and unmute themselves and raise their right hands, please. Okay, Ms. Shorter, you can unmute yourself, and Mr. Kenard, are you there, sir?
Yes,
Okay, both of you raise your right hands, please. Do both of you solemnly swear or affirm your testimony you're going to give here today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you?
yes.
I do.
All right, you're both officially on the oath, and I'll allow the state to go ahead and proceed with calling your first witness. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state calls Adela Shorter. Ma'am, what is your full name?
Adela Shorter,
Who is the child in this case?
Raylan Kenard,
How are you related to her?
my mother,
Who is her father?
Prindle Kenard.
Is it correct that the two of you signed an acknowledgement of paternity around the time of her birth?
Is it correct that we did what now?
You signed a document known as an acknowledgement of paternity around the time of your daughter's birth.
Correct.
And were you able to hear my opening statement to the court, Ms. Shorter?
I was.
And was that your understanding of what I was going to propose for the court as a temporary order at this time?
Yes.
Was there anything, ma'am, in there that you did not agree with?
No.
And so at this time, ma'am, you are in agreement that your daughter lives with you and that Mr. Kenard should have visitation with her based on the standard possession order for over 100 miles away?
Which would be the once a month, halfway?
Correct.
Yes.
Ma'am. And so halfway, you brought it up for the exchange point. Do you have a problem with Ms. Chapa's recommendation of that Brookshire Brothers in Somerville?
No, I wanted you to repeat it so I could write it down.
Yes, ma'am.
So, our brothers.
Correct. It's a grocery store in the town or city of Somerville.
And Somerville is SOMMER?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm okay with it.
All right. And at this time, how does your daughter have health coverage?
Medicaid.
And if Mr. Kenard have coverage as well, you understand that you will continue to qualify for government medical so long as your resources are deemed to be appropriate by HHSC?
Yes.
And so you understand that based on Mr. Kenard having that health and dental, we have given him a credit, which led to the calculation of guideline child support in the amount of $1,610 that you should be seeing beginning September 1st.
Yes.
And then your biggest concern, ma'am, is it fair to say, was that you two not know each other's physical addresses and it not be in the court's order?
I can't speak on his behalf. I can only speak on mine, and I would not like my location to be disclosed.
And ma'am, when is the last incident of any type of violence or interaction that required police involvement between the two of you?
Well, I had police involvement in 2022, but I only went to the police station because he didn't return her. The violent situation that happened, I want to say was 2012 or 2013. I have to look at documentation to actually be sure about that. And in the past, fraudulent accusations have been made to CPS, and I don't want that to ever happen again.
Despite those concerns, ma'am, is it fair to say that you and the father have been able to communicate regarding your daughter by phone?
It'll work in the future.
And you were also in agreement, ma'am, that unless it's an emergency, you and he use the phones to communicate in writing, so text messages primarily?
Yes.
Additionally, ma'am, The issues that we're reserving for final hearing, the retroactive or back child support, and then a specific designation of each of you as the parental role, whether it's joint managing conservators or sole and a possessory. You had no problem with that, correct?
I've been her sole provider. I'd like to continue that.
Okay, ma'am, here's the deal. There's a difference between sole provider and so, yeah, they're just talking about conservatorship under Texas law. It's a little different, ma'am. So, but you don't have a problem with me making a final decision on that until the final hearing, correct?
Sure.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. At this time, Your Honor, I pass the witness.
All right, thank you. Your witness, Ms. Chapa.
I have no questions for Ms. Shorter.
All right, call your next witness. I'll be back to you in a moment, Ms. Shorter. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Your Honor. The state calls Prindle Kenard. Sir, what is your full name?
You muted, sir. Thank you.
Prindle Dean Kenard Sr.
Sir, how are you related to the child in this case?
Raylan is my daughter.
And sir, were you able to hear my opening statement to the court?
Yes, ma'am.
Was that your understanding of the relief we were seeking the court's approval of today?
Yes, ma'am.
Going forward, sir, you are comfortable maintaining that health, dental, and vision for your daughter, understanding that the dental was not used in calculating support?
That it was not, or it is?
Was not?
No, my understanding that it was all included in calculating the support.
All right, sir. The amount of the $1,610 was something you were willing to pay starting September 1st until we do a recalculation before final hearing, correct?
Yes.
And then as far as you and the mother communicating by phones and it being in writing, that was also your agreement?
Yes.
And then, sir, with regard to addresses, you were saying you are fine not knowing hers. You'd like yours kept out of the court order as well?
Of course.
And then, despite whatever knowledge the two of you have, this order by the court that non-disclosure is granted means that you would not have to update her so long as you all can communicate regarding the child?
Exactly. That's the way it's been.
Thank you, sir. At this time, Your Honor, I pass the witness.
All right, Ms. Chapa, your witness.
Yes, Mr. Kenard, how long have you insured Raylan, the child of this suit for?
I think it was at the point she got a social security number. I got the social security number from her mother, and I was able to add her onto the insurance, and I have documents to prove that at work on the computer.
Okay, and earlier, did you hear Ms. Shorter testify to there being an issue in 2022 about withholding of Raylan?
Okay, because I know who I'm dealing with.
One second, Mr. Kenard. We will get there. That was a yes or no question. Did you hear her testimony earlier about the 2022 incident?
No, I didn't know that police were involved, man.
Okay, so can you tell the court what happened in 2022 regarding the return of Raylan?
Okay, she did allow me to see her in 2022. She was able to go with me, and it was a misunderstanding on me driving 3 hours to take her home, because she said I would get her on this particular day. I believe it was a Monday. I don't know the date, but she said okay, and she hung up. Well, that had to be about 6 a.m. or something like that. It takes 3 hours, about 9 to 10 a.m. that morning. I was going to the store and I turned off my street, and she was sitting there by the mailbox. I guess that's the point where this is me assuming, I don't know, because I didn't know anything about police. I assumed that maybe that's where she had called the police and were waiting on them. And I turned around immediately, came and got Raylan, packed her stuff up, and delivered her to her right there. Police never showed up to my house or anything like that.
Okay, and if the court grants you the standard possession today, are you going to follow the order and return Raylan per the orders?
Of course I will.
Okay. Are you asking for an order to be put in place? Why are you asking that a possession and access order be put in place?
Well, I haven't seen in a year, number one. Number two, because of COVID, there was for some reason, she called me, I need you to keep praying for a while. So I took her, had no problem with it, enjoyed it, was very glad to do it. Had her for approximately 3 months during COVID. And when she was ready for her to come back, I delivered her to her. I don't know what the issue was with her, but that's my daughter. You know, I enjoyed it.
And do you think it's in the best interest of Raylan that you be granted the standard possession order?
Oh, yes. Yes. And based on her testimony, I would never call it.
That was a yes or no question also.
Just the yes or no, Mr. Kenard.
What was the question again?
Is it in the best interest of Raylan that you be granted a standard possession order to have access to her?
Yes.
Okay, no further questions, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, anything on redirect, Ms. Mungat?
Briefly, Your Honor.
All right,
Sure.
it's my understanding the child has her own cell phone now, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. All right, folks, here's what I'm looking at doing. And again, this is a temporary order. I can change anything else down the line. I'm going to double check and everything, but right now I'm looking at making the parties temporary joint MCs. I'll double check to make sure, based on the prior matter being more than 2 years old, whether or not the court has the option, actually, even with their finding, that I can do, or do I have to do sole and possessory at final, but we'll figure that out by the time we get to final. I'm going to go ahead and order the child's court as testified to, the standard visitation for parties more than 100 miles away. The exchange points is be the Brookshire Brothers in Somerville, Texas. Communication through cell phone, text messaging until further order. No exchange of addresses until further order. And I'm looking at dates in February. Looks like I have all my February dates available for contested cases. You're looking at a 2-hour time frame, so either morning or afternoon. But it looks like I got the morning available on the 11th and the afternoon available on October 11th. On the 18th, for right now, looks like I have everything available, morning or afternoon, and the 25th available, looks like a morning and afternoon. So I know Ms. Bongat's going to be around, Ms. Chapa. So based on your schedule, which of those 3 Wednesdays look best for you, ma'am?
Sorry, at first you said February, Your Honor, but then you
I'm
referred
sorry.
to October.
I meant October.
Okay.
October 11th, October 18th, and October 25th, morning or afternoon slots, which looks best for you, ma'am.
October 18th, I'm open both morning and afternoon, Your Honor, so.
All right, then. Well, let's get this one going early, and that way I'll give you that 9:30 to through 11:30 slot, and I may take an early lunch. Okay, so there.
Yeah, I hope you do, Your Honor. Thank you so much.
Yeah, don't worry. Somebody will ask for that 11:30 slot before then. Okay, so. All right, folks. Again, I'm gonna do a little research on this one. I'll see about what I can do as far as this. So obviously, y'all got things that are working at this point. So going forward, yeah, just use. I'm not gonna put y'all in the app close. I'll let y'all use your cell phones, and obviously she can talk. Yeah, she's 13 or 12 right now. I'm sorry, I was looking at that earlier.
She's 11.
She just turned 11
Okay.
this year.
Okay, so she'll be 12 next year. Got it. All right, good enough. Anyway, that's what I'm looking at doing as far as the temporary order is concerned. And like I said, I can change anything based on the final, based on the update, and we'll come back and look at what the retro may or may not be going forward and what the repayments on that will be. Obviously, there's some money coming in doing some of that 4 years, and I'll look and see if there's any other funds that were coming in indirectly during that 4-year time frame, and we'll give appropriate credits where they're due and figure out what that's going to be, and whether or not it's going to offer enough any type of hardship that would where the court would have to deviate from some of that amount. Again, Texas has 6% interest on their judgment, so the court always takes that into consideration when I'm ordering retroactive. So I don't like going above the 30,000 at any point, no matter what somebody earns. But if somebody was say Patrick Mahomes, yeah, I'd order him to pay the 30%. I'd order him to pay the entire amount. Okay, so yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, ma'am, I'll start with you, Ms. Short, since you're your own representative, ma'am. But do you have any questions or anything you need for me to have to explain to you at this point, ma'am?
Yes, I'm muted.
No, you're okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, Zoom's been acting all kind of weird on us lately, so yeah, but I can hear you right now, so no problem.
It has. The question is what percentage is it? Is it 20% or 17.5%?
It's based on the number of children, ma'am, he has under the age of 18. And how many other children are you aware of the father having at this time, ma'am?
You would have to ask him that.
All right, ma'am, sir, how many other children you have available under the age of 18 at this time that you're legally obligated to support, sir?
Can I take 10? No, I have one.
One. It's 17.5%, sir. Then yeah, ma'am, it's 17.5%. Thank you. Any other questions, ma'am?
Okay.
If you have 10
What he's requesting with the conservatorship, can you explain it to me? Because I'm a little lost on it.
All right, I'm sorry you didn't hear me. Okay, it's part of my money speech. Ma'am, the law says I'm supposed to name you both joint management conservative, but there are legal findings that I may have to make that can change that from joint to sole. And the thing is, I didn't say it in the morning speech, the difference between a possessory conservator and a sole management and a joint management conservator is very, very little. As a sole, you would have the right to more than likely have her passport. You would have the right to, if she became the next Nickelodeon star, you would have the right to manage her money. And there are a couple of other little minor things, but dad gets all the other rights that he would get on the joint management conservatorship, including the right to take the child to the doctor, go to school functions, all those things that parents get to do. He would still get those rights. It's just under certain circumstances, I cannot name a person a joint management, I know that the code says look at the last 2 years, but if there's been a criminal conviction or a protective order that's been in effect, then that still may affect the overall conservatorship, and I just gotta look that one up.
As far as passports,
Yes, ma'am.
that would need to be sold.
No, ma'am, I'm just saying sole management would get that automatically.
Okay.
So, but at a final hearing, I can give that to either party or to both if I based on the testimony. But right now, we don't usually do that on attempt. So,
Just informational purposes.
yes, ma'am. Anything else, ma'am?
That's it.
All right. Anything else, Ms. Chopper?
No questions, Your Honor. Thank you.
Anything else, Ms. Mungat?
No, Your Honor.
All right, then. Well, I'll go ahead and grant the temporary order. Let's go ahead and again make the exchange point in Somerville. And God, I'm not driving to Houston anytime soon. So good luck with that trip, folks, and have fun and be safe. And everybody try to stay cool out there. And I'll see everybody back here on the 18th. As soon as I get through with this hearing, I will go ahead and make that ZoomCourt and get it out to the administrators so they can get it out to the lawyers.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
The parties be excused, Ms. Mungat?
Yes, Your Honor. Just please check your email in the next couple of days for the order to review and sign.
All right. Thank you, everybody,
All
very
right.
much. We're off the record. Have a good one.